What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, Cam ATL, and welcome back to another MLB High Five video with your boy. Drop a like down below because I already know you're gonna love it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment anything in the comments section to enter your name into the $50 giveaway I'll do every single week on this channel. Thank you guys for joining me as always. All right, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Cam_ATL. It's the best way to get a hold of me throughout the day. Best way to get any questions that you have answered. All right, I'm not going to keep up too much of y'all's time. Let's get straight into it. As always, just to let y'all know, greenlightdfs.com. We got all of the tools to make finding the best statistical play easy. Within a minute, you can know what bats are the best bats to take, what pitchers are the best props to take, what pitchers are the best to take, period, what hitters to take on props, all that good stuff. We got all the tools. They all come with your daily, weekly, season-long memberships at greenlightdfs.com. So take advantage of all of that. Thank you guys for joining me, and let's get straight into it. Now, on this slate, starting off at pitcher, my favorite pitcher on the slate is going to be Shane McClanahan. This dude has been ridiculous. Probably one of, not probably, he is one of the best pitchers in the entire league. He's at home in Tampa Bay, which is a pitcher friendly ballpark, going against a Boston squad that normally, you don't really pick on. They don't normally strike out a ton. They're not a team you really want to pick on versus, they're pretty good versus lefties, all that, but yada, yada, yada. But Shane McClanahan's on a whole nother level, and Boston over the last 7 days has struck out the third most in the entire league, almost 30%. 29 point something percent over the last 7 days. They have been striking out a ton. Now they get to face against Shane McClanahan, who's going to rack up more Ks here as well. Again, I just love Shane here. His K rate's super high. He's just missing bats. He's fantastic. But the other options, I'm not interested in Ohtani too much against Houston, but if you want to get low owned in GPP, go right ahead. My SP2 is going to be John Gray. John Gray has been lights out. I've always known the talent this dude had. I mean, this dude is a beast. He's got some good stuff. One of the top pitchers in the league when it comes to swing and miss stuff. He's got some good stuff here. He gets to go against a bad Oakland offense. I just love John Gray at 7-7. I believe, honestly, in my opinion, John Gray's probably locked today against Oakland. Really love John Gray. Also love him over on Prize Picks over 6.5. Yeah, Gray should have a very solid game here. He's had a very amazing year. Next up, if you want to save off McClanahan, you're like, okay, last 7 days, Boston struck out a whole ton. I'm gonna predict Boston actually gets to McClanahan here because they're good versus lefties over the season. I'm gonna go down from McClanahan to like a Luis Severino. Completely understand that. That's a good play. Savali is a cheap guy at 5.4 who you can use in your lineups, but honestly, I haven't had too much of a need to get value. I know there's a game in cores, and most of the time those guys are spent up, but they just haven't been this series. So you can get what you really want, and you can play what you want. There's been tons of value over the last week, 2 weeks or so. So you really haven't needed to spend down on pitcher too much. So the lowest I'm going at pitcher is John Gray, and then I'm spending up for a stud in McClanahan, who's incredibly safe at home in Tampa Bay. Like I said, pitcher-friendly ballpark, going against a Boston squad that isn't exactly hitting the ball as well as they are used to doing. I mean, they're striking out 30% of the time, and that's not great going against McClanahan. They're not going to, this isn't a get right spot for them, really. All right, so McClanahan and John Gray are the two pitchers that I really, really like. At first base, Luke Voigt let a lot of people down last night. We didn't have him. We went Wilmer Flores. Ended up working great, obviously. Luke Voigt, and that goes back to what I was talking about yesterday. Luke Voigt doesn't have great numbers on the road versus lefties. You would think he would because it's righty versus lefty, right? But on the road versus lefties, he just hasn't been very good. So we got off of that super high Luke Voigt chart. We went Wilmer Flores, who is in a better statistical spot, and he put up better numbers. And that's just is what it is. And I told y'all that's what you should do. Period. Eric Hosmer and Luke Voigt are really good options here. I like CJ Cron as well, obviously. Hosmer in cores, lefty righty matchup against Cool is in a fantastic spot, but I'm going to side with Luke Voigt. Luke Voigt's actually been an absolute stud on the road versus righties, so it's actually a reverse thing. A lot of people immediately look at it and they're like, okay, got to play this guy because it's a righty-lefty matchup. Luke Voigt's a guy you want to play versus righties, especially in cores here with the power he possesses versus righties. Luke Voigt's the way to go. So I'm hoping because in that righty lefty spot yesterday, he didn't show up for people. I'm hoping people shy away from it today, and I think he has a big game today to bounce back at 3-8. I love him. All right, let me see. Who's next? All right, at second base, I'm going another San Diego guy. Jake Cronenworth has been ridiculous. All right. Jake Cronenworth has been ridiculous on the road versus right-handed pitching this season, as of lately, everything. And at only 4.4, he's just way too cheap. So Jake Cronenworth has like over a 480 ISO, something like that, something crazy versus right-handed pitching as of late. And he's just been fantastic. And he's in cores. I'm expecting Jake Cronenworth to absolutely go off. Staying in cores, honestly, which is the first time that I've done this in a while. I'm going with Charlie Blackmon. Charlie Blackmon's in a fantastic spot here, and I think people might sleep on him. Last couple games, he's been super duper hot. He's been really, really good at home versus right-handed pitching. He's got that lefty-righty matchup. He's only 4.6, and like I said, over the last couple games, he's just been super duper hot. Expect that to continue here in this one. I know Musgrove is a solid pitcher, but a lot of these solid pitchers, when they go into cores, get beat around a little bit. Now, I'm not thinking Colorado is going to just destroy them at all. I prefer the San Diego side against Cool for sure, but Charlie Blackmon is the one guy that I'm definitely down to get a piece of. Like I said, he's been hot. I mean, in versus right-handed pitching, he's at home in cores. It's just everything looks great for Charlie Blackmon. It's a solid, solid spot here. And once again, if this is a guy in this cores game in a good spot here. Like I said, he's got the lefty-righty matchup. This isn't a Luke Voigt situation where he's hasn't been good versus the opposite hand. He's been better versus the opposite hand, as we know. So Charlie Blackmon, lefty-righty matchups, boom, numbers are great. At home, lefty-righty matchup, boom, great. Only 4.6, high Vegas total. Everything is adding up for Charlie Blackmon to have a solid game. And if he ends up being low owned, I'm 100% jumping on that shit. Especially with him getting like what 20. He's gotten like 42 DraftKings points over the last two games. Yeah, 21 and 21 over the last two games against San Diego, real sneakily, on the low. So he's been seeing the ball really, really well. 4 hits and like 8 at bats. So he's doing really, really solid. So I love Charlie Blackmon. He's in a fantastic spot, and I'm running with him. All right, and that's it. We got Shane McClanahan, John Gray, Luke Voigt, Jake Cronenworth, and Charlie Blackmon. Let's see what the optimizer likes for value real quick, just to run over some value bats. All right. Point per salary. Eric Hosmer is number one. Completely understand that. Nomar Mazara is up here. CJ Abrams might be back in the lineup. Pay attention to that. He's a solid option. You got Sam Hilliard in courts. Like, look at all this. Like, this is what I mean by the prices on these guys have just been so crazy. Like, you're getting Eric Hosmer for 2,000, batting what could be in the fourth batting spot. You know what I mean? I haven't projected over 9. He is a fantastic option. So once again, if it looks like Luke Voigt's going to be super chalk, don't get me wrong, I love it. That's why I have him in the high five. I love Luke Voigt. But if you want to get real low key sneaky, Hosmer doesn't have the upside of Voigt. But if you want to get real low key sneaky and sit there and pray every time Luke Voigt gets up to bat that he doesn't hit a home run, which is a very high probability tonight, then go Eric Hosmer. Save 1,800 going down to Eric Hosmer here in a good spot. And get up somewhere else. But yeah, so the only issue I have with Eric Hosmer is he's at the same position as Luke Voigt, and I really love Voigt today at only 3.8. That seems way too cheap for a guy who could double dong. You know what I mean? But Eric Hosmer's fantastic value today. Mazara is probably the guy I like a little bit more probably. He's not batting as good like he's batting 6th instead of 4th or wherever they end up putting him in the lineup. He's only 2.1. He's got a ton of power. He's got more power than Eric Hosmer has. He's been hitting the ball really, really well. Mazara was known as being just like, home run or bust, kind of like a Joey Gallo type of guy. But Nomar Mazara in cores, lefty-righty matchups in a fantastic spot at only 2.1, and he goes in the outfield. So it still allows you to get Luke Voigt. You know what I mean? So, anyways, good luck, y'all. Let's get this money. Greenlightdfs.com. Join the squad. Let's keep smashing, baby. Let's get it. And I'm out. Peace.